My name's Thomas Waddle. This is a Whisky Sour Hour, and we're joined by that Effing Guy, Jordan McCabe. How you doing, my man? You alright?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You must really love me. That's 3 times this year I've been on.
Mate, listen, that's what it's about. It's closing out the year strong. We've
Yes,
had
mate.
Callum Petrie on, Harry Kane, yourself. We're finishing big in December this year. So no, thanks very much for agreeing to come back on. I know you're very busy, so thank you for doing it.
Never, mate. Never. I always make time for you. I'm a member. I'm a camera whore. And I'm a podcast whore. So anytime, mate.
Love it, mate. Love it. What's been happening with yourself, mate? Have you? I suppose December being, is quite a kind of hectic time for you. Is that the case, or are you actually kind of managed to get stuff done? What's been happening?
Well, we're all right, actually. We're all right. It doesn't feel. I don't feel as Christmassy. Just so annoying. I hate that. I don't know if it's just the older you get, the less Christmassy you are. Regardless of having a wife that loves Christmas and a kid and that kind of stuff, you do get that kind of next week though. Come next week, I'll be thinking. The good thing is Christmas is halfway next week. It's it's on the Thursday, so I'll get kind of Christmassy leading up to it. But what I do love is the Christmas tips. So they're fucking filling my pockets. I'm happy with that. That makes me feel Christmas inside.
I think it's probably because the weather's been so mild and rancid. We've had 2 frosty days in December, I believe. So
and then the rest of it's been rain and wind or sun.
I know it's been pretty horrific that way.
Not that I want snow or ice. Fuck that.
A crisp frost underfoot is enough. Aye, that'll do. So obviously, kind of coming on here, but at the end of the year, pretty much we know how the year's kind of panned out. Bar, I think this weekend Avatar comes out, so I mean, no doubt that'll be a smash hit. But I think, I mean, it's ridiculous that we're 16 years since the original, which is baffling.
Yeah,
I was in 6th year, and it was one of the movies that it came out at Christmas 2009, and I remember going and seeing it in the March, and I tailed off that long, and it kind of kicked off the 3D stage where every film had to have a 3D conversion, and I remember going in, and I wasn't blown away by it, but my mum was like, see if it was on, she would watch it. It was her favourite, and I never. After she kind of passed away, I was like, I didn't really want to watch the second one, and I still not saw it.
I remember you saw this. That's right. Aye.
So I've not got around to watching it, and to be fair, it looks incredible, as in it actually looks incredible. Yeah. Whether on the story, it's maybe one of the ones. See if maybe get the second one watched, because they're pretty long into 3 hours or something. So.
Like you said though, I remember going to see the first one. I was 18. And it was around about December, so when it first came out. And I was blown away by it though, because the visuals were brilliant. It was a different software with the sound. Even when you're watching it, everything was coming from behind. You could hear it all coming from behind you and coming in, and it was definitely up there with the craftsmanship of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But they're just not my jam. And I've said this to you before about the Lord of the Rings, though. I can appreciate them. They're cinematic masterpieces, but they're not my jam. And I think it's the same with the Avatar films. They are spectacular to look at, spectacular, but it's 8-foot fucking Smurfs.
I mean, just putting it away, James Cameron, is one of my favourite kind of directors.
Fantastic director.
I'm kind of crying out for, maybe a True Lies 2 or something.
True Lies, or Titanic 2. Give us a Titanic 2.
The resurrection,
The resurrection. But True Lies 2, amazing, mate. It's never too late. Never too late.
That's basically a James Bond movie, with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. And it's also a remake of a French film. I didn't realise that until just recently. It's a remake it's a remake of an early 90s French. So it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same heist film, blah, 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 but it's a French film. But yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is just his kind of dark humour. I think Arnie's funny. Arnie can be funny. If you give him a script, he can be funny.
I think a lot of the kind of action heroes of the kind of 80s, they're comic timing is impeccable. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, you can't go wrong there. But same with Stallone and Bruce Willis, especially, because he kind of came for kind of a bit more light-hearted kind of comedy and stuff, So especially when a Death Becomes Her in that, he's you know, a kind of simpleton, not simpleton, but you know, he's kind of like put upon, you know, like
He's a wandering little man.
house husband.
Yeah.
So no, listen, going back to Avatar, like I'm sure it'll be fine, but I think the fact that the last two movies have done at least 2 billion each, I think if it doesn't make like 2 billion isn't a failure at all, because you know, but it has cost like 600 million. I think they started filming it back in like 2017, and then
he's been filming bits of
and
these
writer strikes and stuff.
He's been filming bloody Avatar 3. I think he started to film Avatar 3 like before, like during at the same time as Avatar 2 and that kind of stuff. And like you said, they've been filming for like 10 years.
I know it. But he's coming out and saying he's like, if this isn't financially successful, I won't be making any more. You're like, mate, like,
I know
it's tracking for nearly
500,000.
500,000.
And also as well, though, like they've done Disney have done the inevitable, right? Well, they're just like, hey, listen, if you come and see Avatar 3, you'll get a wee teaser for Avengers Doomsday. And every fanboy just like, fucking right, I'll go see Avatar 3. But I'm just like, nah, I'll wait till it leaks online, because they've been leaking online anyway, so I'm just like, I'll just wait till they leak online.
I've already saw it. Well, I think I've saw it. It's hard to tell these days with like what AI can do and stuff.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think I've saw it.
The Captain America one's real. I spoke about it, but I didn't go into details. I thought I don't want to get copyright strike. But it's Captain America, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, no, like it is what it is. To be honest, like I'm skeptical that the movies, Marvel movies especially, I'm like, you know what, you've wasted almost like, what's that, 7 years by this point between the last Avengers to now. You're like, this shouldn't be a non-event. Almost like I don't see any chatter online for it, and if I do, it's like deriding it, because you're like, you expect us to go and see Avatar 4 times because there's going to be 4 different teasers.
It's a smart move, but yeah, I'm not going to go see Avatar 4 times to see 4 different trailers for Avengers. I've seen the wee one. I've seen the Captain America one leak online. Not by my own. Like, it's just there. It's not as if you're having to look through the dark web. It's just there. I've seen that. I've heard like black, like just screens of like audio from the Spider-Man trailer.
Right.
But I don't know how, but I'm like, I can't really make out what they're saying. They're like, oh, there's Sadie Sink. I'm just like, that's any girl shouting something. I was like, that could be anyone. But no, I'll not go see Avatar 4. I'll probably not go see the new Avatar because I'm not that fussed. I'll see it. I've not even seen the second one yet. I'll see it at some point. I don't care. No offense, I don't care.
It's one of the ones like I will get around to watching it. I'm just not in the right mood probably to watch it. But I mean, this year as a whole, I think it's probably been a tad disappointing. I think when it comes to like box office wise, whether or not you enjoyed them, but I think the movies themselves have been making less and less money, and movies that you expected to do really well bombed, and I think budgets have kind of got out of control. But been to the cinema, and well, obviously sitting talking before this, just to the point where I've actually been 10 times, because I was like, I don't know if I've been that much to the cinema this year. Obviously, we met actually at one point, and you had to correct me to tell me what I was going to see. Thankfully, you were there. But I don't know if that's more to do with the film I was going to see, or just being really tired. I can't remember. But yeah, no, like obviously coming on, I think it's a good time to take kind of stock of what's happened over the year, and then look back and kind of see. So it was just to get your feelings on your top films. So if you say like a top 10 films, in no particular order, of course, because it's subjective. So is there a film that you want to kick off your top 10 films of the year in no particular order?
In no particular order, but I'll say it's probably the bottom of my list. And that is the recent Jurassic World Rebirth. Not that it's a bad. I actually probably am one of the many few that actually love the movie, but it's definitely probably the kind of bottom-ish of my. I'm being too generous. It probably shouldn't be in the top 10, but I was struggling like fuck to get number 10. So I'm just like, Jurassic World Rebirth, why not? Why not? So we'll say that.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I dropped that. Sorry. Let's do that out. But yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth. it's probably the most fun I've had with a Jurassic World film or Jurassic movie in 10 years. So I was like, I'm on a hype with it. I probably have rated it too high, but it was a good wee film. Like it was an easy wee to follow film, and it just was fun.
I'll be honest. I watched it. It was on Google, the Google store, and I think I managed to get a rent for $4.99 for a weekend. So I got it. I don't remember anything about the film apart from the T-Rex kind of chase. I think it is the most forgettable film in the series, and there's like bits even in the other ones where I'm like, it was. I don't particularly enjoy. I thought World was pretty good because it was a kind of return to form. I loved the one shot at the end where like the T-Rex is fighting the Indominus Rex. And
that was cool.
The raptor and stuff. Yeah, that was very cool. And the music, how it worked. The second one I was majorly disappointed with, but everybody remembers that have saw it. The island escape and the Brachiosaurus crying.
God.
I know.
Heartbreaking moment. Heartbreaking. I actually enjoyed that a lot more during my rewatch of I thought Fallen Kingdom was actually a lot better than what I liked. When I went back to the mansion for like the other hour and a half or whatever it was of the film, I liked the sort of claustrophobic, like kind of like shit. We're in a fucking mansion and there's this Raptor Rex hybrid thing. It felt a little bit like Aliens. I was like, I like that. That's pretty cool. The first half, the first bit, the island stuff, felt like a Lost World rehash. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Hey ho. The Lost World is a great Jurassic Park film. It's a very underrated Jurassic Park film. So if you're going to revamp it a little bit with new visuals, I'm here for it. But it was all done and dusted within the first like half an hour. I was just like, oh, fair enough. We're going off the island then.
But I mean, look at that. We've had a conversation about the new Jurassic World movie, and we've ended up speaking about other ones because this one is that.
This is what we do.
Listen, it had its moments. The special effects, considering it was shot in a year, I think. It looks pretty good, and I had no complaints with like the special effects. I thought the family that were in it were brain dead.
I hated them.
They
hated them.
No purpose.
They're born. I think we spoke about that when I was last on. We spoke about the fact that I thought that I enjoyed it for what it was. It was very ABC. It was very easy to follow. Like I said, like I think my famous quotes that I've been using for it seems to be quite kind of funny with everyone. Where I say it's essentially a side mission to a game where you collect 3 DNA from 3 different dinosaurs. You come back and we can move on to the game. You know what I mean? That's
absolutely.
But the family, I hated them. I'm so sorry. The wee girl was she was great. She was a kid. I love it. The kids are great when they do this kind of stuff, but it was just pointless and just a waste of time. And when I was watching, I was just like, can we go back to Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali? Because they weren't exactly captivating either. But I was like, can we just go back to the main people now, please?
I think the kind of biggest takeaway for me is in a world with dinosaurs, I don't believe anybody would be getting bored on the fact that there's like a dinosaur dying in Central Park and everybody's just like, get out of the way and stuff. I'm like, mate, folk would care a bit more than that, So
I found that as a sort of meta commentary where people were getting sick and tired of the Jurassic Park films, but this one nearly broke almost $1 billion. So clearly there was still interest.
It made less than the last 3.
But it's still done incredibly well for being this whole, we hate these movies now, but you know what I mean?
Well, considering it was a jam-packed month, that July, because you had obviously Jurassic World, Superman, and then Fantastic Four, and they all done in that order of magnitude. That's where the budget, the box offices felt was Jurassic World at number 1, then Superman, and then Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but I'm shocked at Fantastic Four because like that film deserved better. It's probably the best Fantastic Four we've had in our lifetime. But people are just like, oh, Pedro Pascal. I'm just like, oh my god, the guy's good. That's why they hire him, because he's good. That's why he's in everything, because he's a good actor. He's reliable. You know what I mean?
No, listen, absolutely. Fantastic Four. It's normal. Is that one of the films that would be on your list? Would you have Fantastic Four on there?
Maybe.
Maybe. So But if you want to move on to that scene, as it's in no particular order, I think we've kind of covered
Yeah,
Jurassic World
yeah.
enough. So I mean that segues nicely into Fantastic Four. So Fantastic Four would be, in my opinion, it's a fine movie, and I think,
And that's fine, though. I get that.
but yeah, no, and I think any other world where the event or the Marvel movies hadn't fallen off so
Yeah,
hard,
yeah,
that'd be absolutely fine. It
yeah,
would be in the category of Captain Marvel, like a fine movie where like kind of it
yeah.
is what it is, but it made over $1 billion. We're post COVID, we're post Endgame.
Mhm.
We're at a point now where people do expect a little bit more, and I think that film played it safe
Yeah.
because they needed it. They didn't. They couldn't. I don't think they could have went too crazy with it.
Mhm.
I think they could have went a little bit crazier than what they did. But music wise, Michael Giacchino kills it,
Oh,
and I
God
don't
almighty.
think there's a bad performance in it. I just think it doesn't do enough, and especially the fact that they cut out pretty large portions with the likes of John Malkovich was in it, and they were in all, it was in the trailers and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
That was
which
a
I
weird
think
one.
summarised basically in the beginning.
Yeah,
The fight,
that
like
was
why is he fighting an ape?
that was a weird one. Because the guy was literally front and center in the trailer for a couple of shots, and you're just like, oh, cool, Malkovich, nice. And I can't remember what character he was playing, but he's playing a character who
I
he
think it was the
puts
Grey
like,
Ghost or something like that. I
yeah,
don't
the
know.
ghost or whatever. Yeah,
I,
and he puts he operates on gorillas and makes them his minions basically.
yeah,
And we saw a few shots of like you said, of the montage of Reed fighting. And for people who don't know who Reed is, Mr. Fantastic, fighting the gorillas on top of a building, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like if the Fantastic Four First Steps was released,
2018.
yeah,
No bother.
2018, like the hype up to Endgame, yeah, it would have probably done
It's
a
making
hell of a lot more
800
money.
to $1 billion like
Yeah,
easily.
yeah,
I think
and it would have more appreciated. But I love it. I thought it was, and I'm not, pardon the pun. I thought it was fantastic. I get what I've realized as I've got older with critiquing movies or that kind of stuff. Like, is I have my favorite films of all time. I love these movies. I love that movie. There's movies that are absolutely shit, but I still find I'm like something about it though. I don't mind. I could watch it again on a regular basis. Like Madame Web though. There's something about that. I'm like, I could watch that on a regular basis. It's so bad, it's good. But what I do though is I do look at films like the new Superman. Like I thought the new Superman was the best thing since sliced bread, but I understand why people don't like it because it's too Guardians of the Galaxy, it's too James Gunn, it's too this, it's too that. But I'm like, hey, listen, as it is. So hey ho. But I hate when people say like, no, it's shite. You should, it's you know what I mean? Hate that film. I'm just like, I hate when people try and force it on that you should love this film, you should hate this film. I'm just like, calm down.
no, I said earlier, there's no point doing a list because it's subjective, and then it's like engagement farming, which I just think is the
Yeah,
most embarrassing thing. You're just saying something wrong, so you're Kirkcaldy, you meet Kirkcaldy, but you're saying it just so people comment, going, "What a weirdo for saying it like
yeah,
that!" Like that,
yeah,
that's not what this is about. And with the likes of, as I say, the Fantastic Four, it's like just a fine movie. The whole like Pedro Pascal kind of stuff. It's just the guy has his political views. Doesn't change the fact that he's a tremendous
yeah.
actor, and
Have you noticed how that's
is
all
really
calmed down
charismatic.
though? Have you noticed how that's all calmed down?
Well, somebody's probably said to him, which is poor. Like you would want to support these kind of
Yeah.
characters and stuff, but somebody's probably said to him, tone it down. But I think that's like, I don't think he will. I think it's just
But have you
the
noticed how?
Disney machine.
But have you noticed how the fandoms kind of, or the kind of hate comments have kind of calmed down and kind of left me alone? So just like, they've had their wee
Good.
rants, and it's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. They've had their wee rants, and it's calmed down now. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably rep up again with the Mandalorian film next year, most likely. You'll get the comments.
Yeah.
People will make comments and say like, "Oh, he's touched up Grogu the wrong way," and you're just like, "Come on, guys, step up it." It's all like I'm just like, it's so like he seems like a nice guy. Like he was hugging Vanessa Kirby, and yeah, she was pregnant and she was married, all that kind of stuff. But like, she was hugging him. Like it's just this kind of like I get that sometimes you maybe tone it down a bit, but I'm just like, Jesus Christ, the comments are a bit brutal.
Nah, listen, celebrities just live in bubbles. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
the amount of plastic surgery that happens, and
Yeah.
the people, don't look normal, and it just shows you that if people think that's how people should look, then maybe we're outside of this bubble, and that's what it is. It's like maybe people are just a bit more kind of friendly when you've spent 6 months shooting a film or however long it is.
Exactly.
So weird, is it? Absolutely. But then we're no privy to how close a friendship it is. So
exactly.
But so yeah, Fantastic Four.
But yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I look forward to seeing more from this the core four. Apart from Joseph Quinn, I'm still not sold on Joseph Quinn. There's something not quite right about that dude.
He feels like a guy that, like the Johnny Storm in this movie, feels like a guy that was bullied but happened to then get superhero powers, and that's it. He feels like a bully victim, whereas like Johnny Storm should be the kind of Chris Evans.
He is a bully. He is a bully. You know what I
mean? Bully with a heart of gold. So listen, I've rewatched recently just with Stranger Things coming out. I rewatched season 4 of Stranger Things. Like he's great. He's really good in the show as Eddie
Munson.
Aye, so he's great in that. But I just think in this he was a wee bit miscast, and I think, to be honest, apart from Eben Moss Bacharach and Vanessa Kirby, I think half of the Fantastic Four maybe could have been cast a bit better. Maybe I like Pedro Pascal. He's my first choice when I was thinking he'll make a great Reed Richards.
100%. I agree with you though. Like he wasn't my first.
And that's no down to acting or anything. No. It's just you need to have a look.
Yeah, he wasn't my first choice at all. Far from it. But I was happy with his performance, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think obviously everyone's fan casting was John Krasinski, and we got that briefly in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, or Doctor Strange, sorry, the Multiverse of Madness, the Madness in the Multiverse. We got a brief, appearance from John Krasinski, right? Jim from The Office is Mr. Fantastic, probably the greatest Mr. Fantastic. Let's be honest, right? But yeah, Pedro Pascal was my first choice, but he's on the Disney, bills.
Aye,
they're going to use someone who they're just like, he's a Mandalorian, he's Mr. Fantastic, he's in The Last of Us. I get it. You're going to use a name who's popular.
I'm going to say something, maybe, I don't know if it's controversial or not, because I know I'm just raking the place as we speak. But, is it the best Fantastic Four movie? I would say is yes.
Yes.
Is it the best Fantastic Four cast? I would argue that,
no,
outside of maybe, the Jessica Alba's Sue Storm, I think that was, and I'm only saying that just because, it was like a very poorly written, whereas like Sue Storm's basically the main character in the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to attempt to do the original Mr. Fantastic's name for the film, the Welsh actor, Griffith.
I'm going to say it's
Owen Griffith.
I've heard it being pronounced as Owen Griffith. Ewan Griffith. It's either Owen or Ewan. Say Owen. I say Owen.
He's outstanding, and there's no reason why he couldn't come back to this. I think Doomsday is supposed to be having like all these characters appearing.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be fantastic, quite literally.
It would be.
You know what I mean?
But it just comes down to casting and how well something's written. Because I mean, look at the Zack Snyder movies, like impeccable casting, and then the scripts let it down big time.
Apart from Gal Gadot. Something
listen,
just
listen. That first, I'm not having that. I'm not having that first Wonder Woman movie is.
Oh, it was excellent, excellent.
And she's excellent in it as well.
She was
because it's written very well. But I know what you're saying.
There was a few things. I'm just like,
there's a few bad line reads. Like that's what it is. It's like that she's particularly bad. Roland's been spleen.
Where's the passion? Max Lord.
Listen, bad line reads aside. But yeah, no, like a script makes everything, and I think going back just to kind of round off the Fantastic Four, it was a pretty good script.
Yeah.
But I think it was too safe, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Like I wanted.
No, I get that. I get that. They were playing it safe because we had the dumb ones from the 2000s. We had the dark one from the mid, the 2015. So they thought let's be a little bit dark, let's be a little bit kid friendly. Let's just kind of, let's just be on the kind of like fence with everything. And it had some extraordinary sequences, and the suits were cool. The suits were cool. The four as a cast, they weren't my cast, but I'm happy to see what else we see from them. And obviously, like you said, the music was just oh,
absolutely, man, absolutely. So moving on to Fantastic Four, what else kind of catches your eye then for your list? So we're 2 down.
What about you? What's your movie?
No, listen, I'm jumping in. I don't think there's only going to be. I can looking at the list I put forward and knowing.
Come on, Thomas. Throw a film in.
Throw a film in, right then. I will.
Challenge me.
I'm just going to put it out there. I cried at this movie. I did not expect to cry at this. Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. Cannot believe I'm saying that.
Mate, I was breaking my heart too. Mate, I know. See when the wee flashback to her dad on his deathbed.
Oh no, mate! It was the last bit with me with Elle. Just threw me.
The film, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great wee return to form for Bridget Jones. Like,
I'll be honest,
I really enjoyed it.
Outside the second one, I think they are a great film series.
Oh, they are. They're a great wee film series. Honest to God, they're great. I mean, I remember watching the very first Bridget Jones on video. My mum had them all on video. She had that in video. She had About a Boy, that kind of stuff. And I remember going through them all because I was a bit older. I thought I can watch some of these adulty rom-coms. And yeah, I thought the first Bridget Jones, still to this day, I think is fucking brilliant. I think it's great.
I remember
Hugh Grant's great in it as well. Colin Firth, like the fight, it's raining men, fucking brilliant sequence. It's so funny.
Mate, listen, Hugh Grant steals every scene he's in the new movies. He's brilliant.
And the new one, he's so funny. He's such a shagger.
Yes, he's great. But funnily enough, just when you're saying the original one, I remember. So I must have been about primary 4 when that one came out. The original one, and I remember my school teacher. So primary 4, and I don't know how, but it's Miss, what are you doing this weekend or whatever? She's like, I'm going to see Bridget Jones' Diary. Like, I don't imagine ever telling like a 8 or 9-year-old like that's what you're doing. Just anyway, like it's a kind of random thing that always sticks in my head. I'm always like, oh, I remember that. I know a teacher that watched this 25 years ago or whatever it might have been. So,
but no, Mad About a Boy was actually really good. I really liked it. I didn't mind the whole romance with the younger 21-year-old or 22, whatever he was. It's a bit naff, but then I'm like, she's a single mum. She's hitting 50.
Mate,
this young boy. Yeah, why not?
That's it. No. Listen, it was fine, and everything else about it is just a speaking about writing. It's just a well written movie. And I actually went. It was the first time I'd went to the Everyman and had like my dinner and stuff there. It was a
great little cinema.
Superb. Had a great time. The only thing I didn't like is the ceiling's really low, and I felt I think if you're over 5'9",
you're walking into a box.
Yeah. But apart from that, no, great, really comfy seats as well. So
I went to see Endgame for the third time in an Everyman cinema with my best mate Steve, and he's like 6 foot and I'm 5'11", and you're just like, what the fuck's this? And it's very small and personal and very kind of close. It's a nice wee cinema. Well, the one we went to anyway was in Princess Square, I think it was.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's a nice one I went to. Yeah. So just
intimate.
Seeing as I've done that one, the other one I'm going to throw out there that I don't think will be on your list is the War of the Roses. Quite enjoyed it. That was quite good. Or Roses, it's called.
I've still not watched, but I've heard it's funny as hell. I've heard it's very it's dark humour.
Well, you've got Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, and I mean you can't really go much kind of dry kind of wit than that. So would recommend it. I think it's probably going to go to Disney relatively soon.
I think it's on Disney right now. I'm sure it's on Disney.
Is it on Disney?
I think so.
It's well worth. It's not. Listen, it's well worth a watch. I think it's it goes places I didn't expect it to. I was kind of this is a wee bit weird. But
like a shooting gat, wasn't it? Didn't he? The 15th.
For a kind of short time he's in it. I mean, I just remember him being. It was kind of weird. I'm like, this must have been filmed a wee while ago because I don't imagine him signing up for just a kind of like. It's basically like the kind of Barbie character again. He's in the background and stuff. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, listen, it's a good film, and especially we're coming up to the 2 weeks where you're like, what day is it? What are we doing? It's a good to watch. Grab your selection box or
Yeah.
Heroes, which is the premier choice of
Oh,
Christmas gifts.
celebrations.
Controversial, mate. I'm a Dairy Milk man. They like a Dairy Milk.
That's
So
fair enough. That's fair enough. I like. I'm more a Galaxy.
on Mars.
Oh, so it's Galaxy
No,
Mars. That's
aye,
Galaxy
it's
Mars.
aye, Mars, yeah. Don't want Nestle get that muck away from me.
Oh, come
Don't want that.
on, Nestle. No, come on, Nesquik cereal.
No, when they thank you for it. Right, Rice Krispies or the chocolate ones, Cocoa Pops or whatever they're called.
Who's
No.
who's Cocoa Shreddies?
Nestle.
Mate, you're fucking tongue shredding because Cocoa Shreddies are the fucking bee's knees, mate. Ah, come on now.
Nah, man.
I'm getting off
No,
this
no.
thing. I'm not. Your
Was it-
podcast's
no,
over.
And in fact, I think they're all like Nesquik, Wheatos. They're just ripping your gums apart. Like who's eating them? Cookie
Right,
crisp.
yeah, I'll give you that then. Yeah, I'll give you that. Like when I do eat my Cocoa Shreddies, I feel like the Joker. I get scars inside my face.
I know how I got these scars. A
Bowl of Cocoa Shreddies.
But no, like as I say, no, like whatever your choice of condiments for the side, confections, enjoy it, and as I say, watch these movies because they are pretty good. Throwing it back over to you, so I think like we'll get. I'm saying it's a top 10 list. It's what there is. So
throwing films out here, basically.
Yeah, we'll throw it films that folk can watch.
For a kind of wintry season, a kind of dark gothic horror for the winter season, Nosferatu. Now I know I'm sort of cheating. We've spoken about this before we went live. Nosferatu was obviously released on Christmas Day in 2024 in America. We didn't get it in the UK until January 1st, this year, so New Year's Day. But yeah, Nosferatu, Robert Eggers, smashed the fucking ball out the park, off the planets, and into the galaxy. Like, Nosferatu is so goddamn good. It's so gothic horror. I mean, and obviously, there's the copyright claim that Nosferatu is a rip-off of Dracula, or is Dracula a rip-off of Nosferatu? I don't know. Back versus forth. I don't know the full extent at all.
No, it was basically just it was an unlicensed film that was made by Germans in the 1920s or something.
Yeah,
so,
with what was his name again? Max Schreck was there is no Nosferatu.
There's a really good movie about the making of it with Willem Dafoe.
Oh my god! And John Malkovich.
Shadow the Vampire or something.
Oh, that is so. It was like a fictional take. It's like, was Max Schreck really
he was a vampire?
Yeah, mate, I just watched that this year. Because I watched the original Nosferatu, and I thought it was see for a silent film. I was like, it's actually really, the visuals are good. I'm like, it's really, really good. And then I watched Nosferatu, and then I watched the Shadow of a Vampire. It's Shadow of a Vampire is really good, but yeah, the new Nosferatu with Nicholas Hoult and all that kind of stuff, and obviously the great Bill Skarsgård is Count Orlok. I love it. It's so good. It's got that because it's obviously there's a lot of it's got that wintry vibe to it. I love it. I thought the visuals were great. I thought the acting was superb. I wasn't, and I still stand by this. I'm not a massive fan of the look of Count Orlok. Is it Orlok or Orlok? Orlok. I'm not Orlok. I always feel when I say Orlok, I say Orlok. I wasn't a massive fan of the look. I don't know. It wasn't my jam. But there's a lot of people who are just like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't really look at him. But other than that, though, Bill Skarsgård was like. I don't know what that man does. I don't know what he eats for breakfast, but he just seems to any role he's in, when it's like with makeup, like, Pennywise, all that kind of stuff, he just absorbs. Like, there's character acting, and becoming the character, and then there's Bill Skarsgård. Like, he eats the character. Like, he then becomes the character. Like,
No, I definitely no. Listen, I think he's amazing. Obviously, you'd mentioned like Pennywise there, especially with Welcome to Derry just wrapping up.
I'm halfway through it right now.
It's incredible, mate.
Incredible, by the way.
It's
incredible. So good. What a return to form after chapter 2.
I think at chapter
The
2 it was
cast were
always going to be
great.
like that.
The cast was superb, like
It's
perfectly
just the book.
cast.
It's just
Yeah,
the book's the
it's
same.
just weird.
I think the thing with Bill Skarsgård is, even though he's kind of like Jim Carrey, he's got a very malleable face, so
Oh,
even with
aye.
the prosthetics,
It's insane.
you know it's him under it all. So he is great at what he does, especially like, you know, Nosferatu. I went and saw it at the cinema. I think I actually saw it in IMAX, which was like, I mean, it was earth shattering, some of
Oh yeah.
the kind of stuff in it. And his voice in it, it's a very choice that he makes, you know, for the voice. But the film itself, when you're watching it, even if you don't like it, is very, very memeable. So you'll get plenty, you'll laugh
Oh
at it.
fuck
You know,
aye. Oh aye.
it's
Oh aye.
very good. Like, but then I think horror and comedy, you obviously, I mean, I'm no reinventing the wheel saying that, they go
Yeah.
hand in hand. So you'll laugh uncomfortably, like, you know,
Yeah.
as I say, you're just taking a nice walk along the river, and then all of a sudden somebody's getting, you know, like shafted with a ghost.
Aye. Like I did chuckle a couple of times because there was a few sort of unintentional things that Eggers did with this. You know, like some of the things that Orlok did. I was like, did he just do it? Did he just tell a joke? Like there was a few wee moments, I can't remember them exactly because it was a fucking year ago when I watched it. But there was a few moments where I was just like, did he just crack a joke there? Did he crack a one-liner? And just there was a few things where you just thought it's quite funny. And Nicholas Hoult as well. Nicholas Hoult being this vulnerable kind of like, what is he? What is he? Is he a financial advisor or something like that?
I thought he was an attorney.
He's
I think it was something like
something
that.
to do
He's
with finance.
closing the house or something. Yeah,
He's closing a house, right? Even some of the bubbling things he did, though, the mumbling things he did, I was like, that's quite funny.
no, it
That's
was
intended
good.
to be quite kind of dark comedy there.
No, absolutely. Obviously, kind of, it was a good year for horror. I think the next two films we can kind of chat about here, seeing as we're in that kind of the zone. I don't know if you've saw it yet. Have you managed to see Weapons yet?
Yes, I saw Weapons and such as Sinners. I thought it was a superb piece of cinema. But I saw it after the hype had kind of died down. So when I watched, I was like, it's a 5-star film. It is brilliant. That and Sinners are both brilliant. But I'm like, right, it's just a movie. Calm down. I mean,
I went. I managed
and
to.
again, I'm like that with Superman though, because I'm just like, no, it's fucking Superman, right? It's a great film. Fucking, you know what I mean?
I managed to convince Lauren to come and see it with me, because I was like, look, I don't think it'll be that scary. I think you'll be okay. And we
I don't
went
think
and
it
saw
was
it.
scary. It was eerie.
Oh, it was unsettling. Yeah.
It was unsettling.
Especially,
It wasn't like oh, it wasn't like jumping out scary, like
yeah.
like Blair Witch or whatever.
There was things in it that made you kind of squirm in your seat, like, you know, the hair getting cut in the car when she's asleep, and specifically the one that sticks in my mind is the stabbing in the face with a fork. So that was pretty messed up, man.
No.
So
the person coming out the house and walking. I mean, I think she was sleeping in a car.
aye, that's it, when she cuts her hair. That's what I was saying.
That was that. Yeah, that was. I'm just sitting there being like, wake up, and it stayed on her, and it just like closer, and I was like, wake up. I'm like, oh fuck. It's like what was it called? Smile. It's like when she's in the car and her sister comes out, and all of a sudden she just drops her head, and just like that was scary. But Weapons has that sort of. It wasn't like jump scares. It was more kind of like that kind of eerie kind of build up of what the fuck is going on here? What is that? That's something. What is that?
It ratchets it up the intensity to a point where you're actually like, you know, you're physically kind of in your chair, you know. The one that sticks in my mind, there was a short story or a short film. I think it's on YouTube, and it's like a young boy in a block of flats, and he's looking across at the other block of flats, and there's like an old woman eating like her husband or eating somebody,
and it's
she's like running down.
Oh fuck, mate, that's haunting.
That's what I'm saying. It has that kind of quality where it's almost like it's no hiding anything from you. You're just like, it's that primal fear of being chased. And I mean, not to spoil the ending, but there's a primal fear of being chased and Weapons. So, but again, you mentioned
Aunt Gladys was like Aunt Gladys. But by the way, have you ever seen Uncle Buck?
Aye.
John Candy. We all know Uncle Buck, right? See Uncle Buck's girlfriend, Shanice.
Aye, Aunt Gladys. Aye.
Aunt Gladys.
Well, we mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger earlier. You know, his partner in Kindergarten Cop.
Oh shit, so she is. Oh no.
Aye, and she's also in. I recently watched Field of Dreams. She's Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams.
She was his partner in kind of
Build it and he will come.
Build it and they will come. Oh no, Wayne's World 2, yes. Wayne's World 2, they'll come on, they use that as well. With Jim Morrison, the weird naked Indian.
But yeah, no, like I'm glad this is good. But yeah, as I say, there is that kind of that balance of horror and comedy, because I mean, it's almost like a release of laughter at the end of that film, and you're just like, I can't believe what I've just saw. So I'm great flick. And then
Weapons was good.
You mentioned obviously Sinners as well. I was a bit cooler on it than you were.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I warmed up to it, but certainly I was like, you'd mentioned the hype cycle, and I went and saw that. I think it was opening weekend.
Okay, fair enough.
And I was caught up in that hype. I like, oh, this is going to be really good. I think I'd said it was like, it was like when you mentioned earlier before we came on, it was like an art house from dusk till dawn, and I was expecting like a battle, like a siege, and that really only happens at the latter stages, and even then it's like one, and they get absolutely obliterated. So
there's definitely
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's definitely a slow burn movie. I think like the first hour, I think it's like 2.5 hours long. No, it's like 2.5 hours long, isn't it? And like the first hour is just basically Michael B. Jordan. Obviously, he's split. He's the two brothers. He's split into the two roles, and it's just that kind of build up of those guys and all that kind of stuff in the characters. Which I'm like, I like that though. But like the first kind of like vampire, i.e., Jack O'Connell, doesn't show up until like an hour into the film, and then because it starts off like a proper like it's a kind of 1930s kind of
movie, a gin joint, getting the band back together.
It's like, and then all of a sudden, just Jack O'Connell comes falling at the sky and just like, oh, that's right, it's a vampire film. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, I was talking to my friend Fiona about this. Who, if you're listening, Fiona, hello. The actual setup was, I was like, I want to know what's going on with these Indian vampire hunters, man, or Native American vampire hunters. Like, what's going on here with this? I thought that was quite interesting. I'm like, if you do a spin-off of this or turn it into a franchise, which I think's the plan eventually, they're not going to mention anything because they want to win awards. And it's like the same with the play with Joker. Joker won all the Oscar for, I think it was best soundtrack, and then also Joaquin Phoenix winning.
Did he get best picture? No, never.
No, I got a nomination.
He get best actor. Well deserved though. Well deserved.
Oh no, definitely. But you don't franchise something until you've got the. I've not seen Fully I Do.
Nah. Yeah. I will watch it one day.
A cold rainy day, perhaps. But yeah, no, like I've obviously you don't franchise it, but I'm like, I want to know what's going on with the hunters there. That's pretty exciting. So
I want to see, like, not that I'm not going to spoil it, but like when you come to the ending of it, set all those years later.
Yeah.
I kind of want to follow those two and see where they're going to go next.
So anybody that's played, and this is a throwback, Castlevania Lords of Shadow. If you finish that game,
played that.
It's basically the exact same post-credit scene. Like nobody spoke about it.
Okay,
but that is yes.
Okay.
I think it's been out long enough now that like I'm not going to, like I say, not going to spoil it. But basically, the second Castlevania game is set in the modern day. What is going on?
Okay,
and it's Patrick Stewart doing the voice in it. It's pretty exciting.
Nice. But no, I like the jump forward with those two characters, and then they just kind of like disappear into the darkness in the night. I'm like, I would happily follow those two.
I see what's happening. No,
and see where they could go for modern. Maybe not modern, but maybe set in the kind of 70s or the 80s or 90s, something. You could do it.
I think we're at the point now where 80s nostalgia, as much as I love it, and obviously the aesthetic of the show is very much that kind of neon synthwave. I love it, and I'm a 90s child with an 80s heart, I suppose.
Oh, my exact
90s
same
nostalgia. Mate. Yeah, no, 90s nostalgia is all the rage. I found myself looking at old 3D Pokemon card art just for the gigs, you know what I mean? Just to see it, like, oh, look at how weird that Voltorb is. So, so like, I think if you were going to do it, I'd like set it in the 90s. It's more fun as well because everybody can do everything on their iPhone. So
Yeah.
whereas back then, it's like James
Oh,
Bond
yeah,
as
I would
well. You
definitely-
had gadgets and stuff. So
I would definitely stay away if they're ever going to do a Sinners sequel or anything like that. I would definitely stay away from like modern day. I'd definitely stay away from like now or even the 2000s. I'll stay away from that. Just stay in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even the 50s. Like you could do a sort of prequel, but it's
Absolutely.
also a sequel to the first one, so they could do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd stay away from the day of the millennium. Stay away from the 2000 onwards.
2000 or before. Aye.
Yeah, I'd say the 90s is probably the latest I'd go with something
Yeah.
like Sinners.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
And because it's all about music, you've then got the rap and all that kind of rave. You've all got that kind of sort of thing. You're like, you could fuck about with that and do something with that. You could do something.
That would be very cool. One of the kind of films that I went and saw and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away. And we spoke about this again before because I know you've not saw it, but the most recent Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
It was just it felt over. It was like overdone. They'd left it in the oven a bit too long. I think it was a wee bit dry.
Because that is the longest one. It's the longest one to date, isn't it? The longest Mission Impossible to date.
It's the longest one, but I think it's one of those ones. I think they kept tweaking it as they were going.
Yeah.
And obviously there was reasons for that.
I could start filming that like
COVID.
They filmed that like back to back with Dead Reckoning like 2022.
No, they were they were filming that during COVID because you can remember the epic Tom Cruise rant about we are the guys that are doing this.
That's right. So like 5 years ago, then say like. Jesus, I mean,
they've been filming it for a good bit, but kind of before all that. So I think it's one of those ones that it was like they were trying to kind of fit everything in, and then other like it's almost like. Do we want to make this the last one? Do we not want to make this the last one?
Yeah.
And you get that. At some points, you're like, right, this is going to be it. And then other points, you're like, oh, I don't know. And even in the last couple of months, it doesn't do as much with the AI as I thought it was going to do. Have you seen the one previous, the Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Yeah, I've seen Dead Reckoning Part 1, which was what a waste. And I tell you what now, when you think of it, like
I know, it annoys me so much.
Dead Reckoning
Blu-ray.
I know. Well, they've re-released them now without the part ones. I'm like, I was waiting till it get re-released and the part one was gone. Because I like my physical media, but I don't like fuck ups my physical media. And even something as small as that, I'm just like, part one, there's no part two. There is, but there's not like.
Yeah, it's not a continuation. Yeah.
No, I thought Dead Reckoning was. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
I really enjoyed it, man.
It was.
I don't think it's done enough with it. I don't think it. I think it could have pushed what they've done with AI, especially in the last couple of months. How many times are you watching a video and you're like, "That's AI. I've been done. I've been had."
Well, that's what Scream 7. Scream 7 is obviously going to be dabbling on that, like a heavy lot of that with like the voice, changing the voices and stuff like that.
Well, obviously, that's it.
Well, the Scream franchise has always been meta with Hollywood. Whatever Hollywood's doing at that point, they'll fuck it up. And when Hollywood do reboots, they're just like, we are going to mock reboots. When Hollywood does this, we're going to mock legacy sequels. So the fact that Hollywood is they're with the SAG, all that kind of stuff, all the kind of the fights for it, they're trying to stay away from AI. But Scream's just like, we're going to mock that and use that as to the advantage. And I'm like, yeah, Scream is probably the only franchise that probably could do it. It probably could do that kind of thing and be like, okay. But yeah, I would say
I just think Mission Impossible didn't do enough with that. Like the whole we mentioned Dead Reckoning, the whole airport scene where it was like it's this guy, but the AI was like changing the faces and stuff. That basically gets forgotten about in this film, and it just becomes like, right, let's get this cruciform key. And that's it. It's like
is it God's Eye? It's called the God's Eye or something. No,
God's Eye. Is that no Fast and the Furious, mate?
Oh, it is. Because Fast and Furious, because the God's Eye was sort of AI-ish, wasn't it?
Was that not the thing? It was either that or it's a clean slate protocol.
It was a big computer program. Oh well, fuck me. Right, back to Mission Impossible. Not the God's Eye.
Is that I was going to say, is that Charlize Theron? Is that not what she does to move all the cars?
Her thing was the God's Eye. I think Mission Impossible was it the two key that had to interlock?
Aye, the interlocked eye. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it has like some great scenes in here. Like Tom Cruise is hanging for a biplane here, and it's incredible. I was just a wee bit disappointed. One Tom Cruise movie that I think nobody's disappointed by is Top Gun Maverick, and Joseph Kosinski who directed that film and directed Tron Legacy, and I'm a massive fan, and I've mentioned him many times in the show. He did bring out a wee movie this year called F1. Did you manage to see that?
I've not watched it yet. I'm purely because I'm not really into my F1 ness.
Mate, you know what? I'm not into F1, but I'm into
But
Brad Pitt.
I've heard this. I mean, I'm into Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? Who hasn't been into Brad Pitt? But I've heard it's incredible. I've heard that it is a proper thrill ride.
I have absolutely no interest in motorsport, specifically F1. I think it's pretty how do you put it nicely? I think it's all about money, and I think it's no for folk that don't make, you know, less than like 5 figures or 6 figures, man. It's like, who cares? It's like they do not care about you.
I like watching NASCAR. I like when they call, so they just smash into each other. It's funny as hell.
For the crashes, aye.
Yeah, I love all that. Ricky Bobby.
But I think F1 is an actual thing. No interest in the film. As soon as you were like Joseph Kaczynski, Brad Pitt, Hans Zimmer's doing the music, I was like, mate, sign me up. I am there. And the kind of openness that F1 had to allow them to film there and actually, you know, like make it more than just, you know, like a clean cut. You know, like that. This would it would never happen.
Yeah,
obviously, because there's some like underhanded tactics and stuff in that, but it never doesn't bring the sport into disrepute or anything like that. But it's ridiculously good. It's shot incredibly, like, and I'll be totally honest, and that there's some amazing races on it, to the point where you're like, Jesus Christ, like this, you can tell you're getting the faces jiggling because you know they're actually in these vehicles.
Yeah,
the opening race is amazing, and your jaw will drop during it. It's
because
24-hour Daytona.
Brad Pitt is, and he is in the cockpit, isn't he? He is dry. They've done the same thing with
absolutely
with like Tom Cruise. He is in the corner.
It's the same thing. I think that's what I remember when it came out at the time. They were saying, "Thank God Tom Cruise was in this, because he would have went even further than what Brad Pitt was doing." He would have like wanted. Like, I think they maybe had like an F2 car dressed up as like an F1, or maybe an F3 dressed up as an F1.
Okay.
But there would be like Tom Cruise would be like, "I want the real deal here.
I want the F1.
The F1. I want the F0 car, man." He's like driving.
It was like that. It was like that. That secret. What was it? The secret like jet that he was flying to start a Maverick.
That'd be Dark Star, mate. Okay,
Dark Star. Like when he flew that though, like that's definitely a Tom Cruise. That's definitely Tom Cruise right there.
When you watch it, and I do recommend it, it's very good. The only thing I would say is it's maybe about 20 minutes too long, and they do the same story beat like twice in a row. Like it's proper cliche sports stuff, but they do it twice, and I was like, why would they in this, guys? Like, what's going on? So it's well worth watching. But that first race, as I say, I think it's a 24-hour. It's Daytona. It's definitely not Le Mans. And there's like fireworks. It's at night time. It's shot in IMAX. I believe it is incredible. So F1 is probably like, you know, it's up there with one of the best movies. Plus, I went and saw it in 4DX before it closed at the Renfield Street Theatre, the Cineworld.
That's opening again next year. They're getting taken over by an Irish company.
Complex thing. Well, they already owned that cinema. It was rented by Cineworld, and then what they've done is, I recently went, and I'll speak. There's another film in the list that I recently saw, and it's Silverburn, but they moved all the seats from there, so your reclining seats have all been moved to Silverburn. They've all been upgraded. I believe I spoke to a wee guy there, because I can't get Lauren to go to cinema unless it's recliner seats like that. That's our one. That's our one thing. She's like, so it was showcase. Obviously, moving to where I am, I'm actually closer to Silverburn now. So I was like, right.
Okay.
Says to the guy, what showcase or what screens have recliner seats? And he's like, everyone apart from 9. So if you're going there, if it's on screen 9, you're not getting recliners. But
fair enough.
We'd went to the 4DX there, and amazing. And I mean, like, funnily enough, we were sitting in it. I don't know if anybody's ever done it, getting flung about by
I'm not
chairs.
a fan of 4DX.
I think we have to go for the right thing. Like, I think F1 was the perfect one, because it's like you're in the cockpit getting blasted about.
I went to see Assassin's Creed, and that was my 4DX one and only experience. And see when he was doing his jumps and you're getting sprayed by water, I'm just like, fuck right off. It was just, I'm not on a roller coaster. I want to enjoy my film.
Well, we went and saw it, and it says obviously F1. So I was thinking, the trailers will be fine. No, the trailers are in 4DX as well. So we'd mentioned Jurassic
Yeah.
World. It was Jurassic World that was on. So you're getting hit in the face with the water for the spray for the boat. And then I think there was like
fuck that.
I think there was something that slashed at you, so you got it down your back. Well, Lauren's nearly falling at the seat, so it was one of the ones. I'm like, God, I don't know if we're going to last this entire F1 movie. Thankfully, it calmed down a wee bit, but it was very good. But F1 is definitely one that I would I'd recommend. Do you?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it back to you. Is there anything you want to kind of?
I've got a couple here. I've got my two kind of tops. I kind of want to throw in either another one or two of my other ones. I'd say it's between 28 years later and or The Long Walk. I'd say 28 years later.
Right. Well, that's in my list as well.
Yeah, we can both talk about that then. 28 years later was just incredible. Although after my first watch, I didn't love it. It was after my second and third watch where I was just like, yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like obviously we had the grand return to the 28 later verse. Danny Ball's back in the director's chair. Alex Garland's back in the writing chair. No Cillian Murphy, but he's obviously going to pop up in the next one.
We hope.
Yeah, I thought. No, it's been
Okay.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed. You know, I'm so happy with 20 years later. Like it's a proper father son story, and they're in this post apocalyptic world. The thing is, so what was kind of cool about it though is they're in a post apocalyptic world, but they're still obviously living in that apocalyptic world, but they've sort of managed to have their little island where they're safe and secluded from the rest of the world. And what it is, and this is not a spoiler, it was in the trailer, is the UK are actually secluded from the rest of the world's actually moved on pretty. The rest of the world's fine. The rest of the world's just moving on normally. They've managed to get rid of infected, and it's just the UK that's only riddled with infection. So you're like, oh, that's interesting. That's fascinating, actually, because you think the way that 28 weeks later finished when they're obviously invading Paris and you see the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that, the rest of the world did get fucked. But in the space of the 28 years, the rest of the world's managed to fight back, and it's now just the UK that's now this, it's been isolated from the rest of the world. So you're just like, that's pretty cool, actually. But also, it's just like, of course, the UK are still infected. Of course, it's us.
One thing I think is very funny, obviously, you mentioned 28 weeks later with the infected at the Eiffel Tower, and it just makes me laugh. It makes me laugh at the fact that it cuts for that, and it's basically just France dealt with it fine. They were all right.
I know, like, because the thing is, like, what you got to remember though is you forget that it is 28 years later though. Like that's the thing. Like you're nearly 30 years after the pandemic, so like somehow the rest of the world fought back, whereas the UK are just like they just need to live with it. But they've, like I said, Aaron Taylor Johnson and his family and the rest of the community, they've got their own wee island. But what I loved is, as much as it's 28 years later, so technically they're in the year 2030 something, whatever.
And it's 2030 because it was 2002.
Yeah, so they're in the year 2030, which you think is the future, but you feel as if they're still living in the past. You feel as if like they've went back in time. They're living with a horse and carriage. They went right back. They've stripped themselves right back to like the bare minimum.
You know what the scariest thing about that world? See the scariest thing about that world though?
What's that?
It's no the zombies or the evolution of the zombies.
No, it's humanity. It's civilization.
And I'm gonna go even scarier than that, mate. It's the fact that they don't know Jimmy Savile's a bad guy.
I was going to go into that, but thanks for mentioning it. Yeah, I know, with the whole Jack O'Connell, what was he called?
Jimmy Crystal or something?
Sir Jimmy Crystal. Yeah, that's still a questionable ending.
I became Power Rangers for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's never been confirmed though. Like if he was, like, I don't really know if it's ever been confirmed totally. But yeah, so obviously when it all kicked off in 2002, because obviously we see young Jack O'Connell, when it all kicked off in 2002, they're watching the Teletubbies, and it's obviously the trailer we've seen. It's obviously gut wrenching. Technically, Jimmy Savile didn't get caught out. He wasn't outed for. He wasn't outed. Obviously, 10 years later in our world, he got outed. Obviously, he'd been dead by then. So in their world, Jimmy Savile was still an icon, a hero.
Say,
And I hate saying that, but
your man Jack O'Connor turns up, and he's
yeah,
he's like, no, the wee boy's cornered by all the zombies. And he just turns up going, now then.
I know. It's just it's questionable, but I'm trying to justify it and say I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like,
But it's
why,
just,
Danny?
it's
Why, Alex?
It's basically time ended then, so it's like nothing after 2002. So
yeah,
Hulkamania is still a thing, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so the Hulkster never died, or they maybe they did. Maybe Jimmy Savile got absolutely tore apart by a zombie, which I really love to think that was what happened to him. I was going to go with darker. I'm not going to.
No, I know.
I've already mentioned Scarlett Johansson's.
I'm going to bleep that out. So,
but yeah, we'll maybe not go dark. What happened to Jimmy Savile? But yeah, 28 years later was a spectacular return to form. I'm still. What I will say is I'm not sold on the cinematography. Obviously, it was all filmed on iPhones, but there's a few like choices.
It was the headshot shots where it was like the camera would
it
was just. I didn't think it was bad. I just was like,
it would go from that angle to that angle to that angle. The quick kind of spin of the angles.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Danny Boyle always likes to use different technology for the cameras, cinematography, all kind of stuff. And what I love though is they say like, oh yeah, we filmed these on iPhone 15s or 17, whatever they are, right? And we're just like, that's fair enough, that's cool. It does go to show. Obviously, the whole point was it's to show that anyone can make a movie with their phone, right? And I get that. Brilliant, great, like, message. But then you look at the fucking £250,000 fucking lenses he's got attached to his iPhones. You're just like, right, come on, mate. Yeah, the rig, the camera rigs. I'm just like, mate, that cost £1 million. Are you having a laugh? You're trying to say that we can all film with a phone, but you're just like, you've got £1 million fucking rig attached to the phone.
I know it didn't like set the world on fire when it came to like box office, and I was all for
concerned. Weird one.
But I was really worried that we weren't going to get, because they're like, we're going to do 3 movies. It's going to be Nia DaCosta's the next one, and then Danny Boyle will come back and do the third one. Thankfully,
one needs to be a success. But
I know. Right. Thankfully, they've came out and said that it's going to be. But Nia DaCosta, it's in less than, I think it's 3 weeks now to the Bone Temple comes out. So that would be quite exciting.
I'm ecstatic, but the last trailer I wasn't a fan of. I'm like,
well, to be honest, I try and avoid trailers most of the time because they always give away too much. So I'll maybe watch a teaser, like the recent Supergirl. I watched the teaser for that. But we'll get on to that when we speak about another movie.
Good, good.
No, listen, 28 years later is an exciting movie.
And it's not a zombie horror. It's more about the story between a father and a son, and the journey for the son to be the father, to be that, that next generation of warrior.
It's the best kind of zombie movies when it's the zombies are like they're like the icing on a cake, like they just make it better. It's a good story. But no, looking forward to that one coming out, and that's good that it matched up there.
Tempo.
One that actually went, it was a week ago today from filming. I went and saw a wee movie that has to be put in the list, and I know I'm probably cheating a wee bit here.
No, go because it's your podcast.
Well, I know, but I like to stick to the rules, man. But no, I'm going to bend them a wee bit here. I went and saw Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair last week.
Okay.
So this was where I went to Silverburn, saw it with Greg. The seats were incredible, and it had an intermission which was dynamite. I'd seen
it's like 4.5 hours long, isn't it? It's
4.5 hours, but I think the time it gives you on the computer when you're buying your tickets is actually including your intermission. So I saw the first one, as I think most people had. I loved it. The first one is incredible, and there's like wee bits added. So there's an extra animated bit about I'm going to say her name wrong, but Lucy Liu's character. I was going to say Orenishi, but I don't think that's her name. Orenishi, that's her name. So there's like an extra bit about her background, and then the whole fight with the Crazy 88s, which was in black and white to keep it 18, before it
Yeah,
went
yeah, yeah,
NC-17.
yeah.
It's in colour and it's glorious. It goes on for about 15 minutes, so it's really good. The second half,
See,
which was the
I don't know if I want to see it in colour. I like the black and whiteness. It's actually pretty
listen,
cool.
but no, it works both ways.
Okay,
It was cool, man. And you can always watch the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
which
Kill Bill
is
was extraordinary,
well,
extraordinary. Love
I'll
it.
be honest. That was the first time seeing the second half, and I thought it was a wee bit boring. Like it was a bit underwhelming.
Have you ever seen Kill Bill? Have you ever seen Kill Bill 2?
Well, I have now.
Until now?
Until now.
Until now? You never saw Kill Bill 2 until
No,
now?
no.
Wow, that's
I know.
interesting.
No, I know. So I went into this, which was quite good. So I never,
Oh,
so with the story, the way it works is, I think at the end of Kill Bill, and they kind of get away for that there's that iconic line of her in the car. She's like, "I'm gonna kill Bill."
yeah.
That's not in it anymore. It just it goes into mission, and it opens up with the second film.
All right, okay.
But
Fair enough.
there's a kind of twist that Bill spoils. Well, it's not a twist because in the original, like, I'm not going to spoil it because it was quite cool. But Bill says something. Does the bride know that Bleep's alive? And
Yeah.
that isn't said at all in the film. So when you get to that point in
Okay.
the second one, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? This is mad. So it kind of
Okay.
recontextualizes stuff. So if you haven't saw it, like I hadn't, I was
Okay.
like, oh, that was quite
Okay.
cool. Because I know that after the fact now, but I would seriously recommend taking about an hour to get to Silverburn because the traffic is terrible this time of the year.
Oh God, I know.
But no, that was a cracking experience, and
Nice one.
I hope it comes out to home media, and eventually you can get to see it. But definitely good. And the Crazy 88s fight is very cool in colour. The stylization of it being in black and white is very cool as well. But so
Mm.
I understand why you'd be a bit kind of pessimistic about, like, oh, I don't know if that's the right
But
choice.
no, but I don't. To be fair, I don't mind it because obviously it does then cut to color anyway. So it's not as if it's like the whole sequence was in color. It was in black and white. Like it doesn't bother me that much.
It'd be
No,
quite cool
I love
if it'd be quite cool if they
There you go.
actually made the film black and white, and then that fight was in color and everything else
Ooh,
went. That'd be quite cool. But or
that'd be
everything
quite
was
cool.
everything was in black and white apart from the blood, which would be bright red. But again,
Oh,
that's
like Sin City.
maybe. Yeah, that would be cool. I love Sin City.
I love Sin City. I hate Sin City 2 though.
Oh, diabolical, man! Terrible.
I don't know if it
Terrible.
was just the timing or I don't know.
They just waited too long
There's
for it.
just
Waited too
so
long.
much. But then again, you've got sequels that like 10, 15 years later and majority of them work. I don't know
but there
what
was just
happened
something
there.
about
I don't know
that
what
one.
happened there.
They could have waited.
I know.
So we've basically exhausted my list, bar one movie, and I think it probably lines up with your list as well.
Ooh.
Unless there's
Well,
anything.
I've got one more I want to throw in. I was going to do the long walk. I'm like, no, do you know what? Let's just throw in this one, then number one.
Okay.
So is it Guillermo?
Guillermo.
Yeah, Guillermo. I was just going to say Del Toro. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Well, obviously Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but in this case, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
No, it's Guillermo del Toro's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's the longest title.
It's
No, I'm only joking. That's not what it's called.
Frankenstein.
I've yet to see it. Is it good? I know it's on
My
Netflix. I've just not got around to watching it.
God, mate, look. I've seen a lot of people watch it and say bit too long, bit boring. What's the whole hype, right? It's got that kind of hype factor of like sinners and weapons and that kind of stuff, right? But I think, see if you love Frankenstein, and if you especially love the extremely underrated. I mean, it's had a lot more. It's had a resurgence nowadays recently. Kenneth Branagh's interpretation of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from 1994, which I think is just god tier. Like, it's just splendid. I don't get the hate for that one. That's probably the one film I really will stand by and say, like, and I'll fight people who will say, "Lord of Shame." I'm like, why? What's
Is that the
bad
one
about
with
it?
Robert De Niro?
Yeah. It's just, if you said to Robert De Niro back in 1990 when he's doing Goodfellas, by the way, you're going to be playing Frankenstein's monster in 4 years' time, he'd have been like, shut the fuck up. What? Oh my God, like that kind of Branagh, like and the music, God. I mean, the fact that they use the music in the Frankenstein pub in Edinburgh when the monster comes out, it's just glorious. But yeah, if you love Frankenstein, you'll love this and you'll love that. The new Del Toro's Frankenstein is just like, it is just gorgeous. This should have been in a cinema, and I know it got a limited kind of like week or two release, and I sadly couldn't get to see it. but it's a Netflix film, obviously. This should have just been solely on the big screen. Thankfully, it's getting a physical release next year. Thank God, it's the only Netflix film I think to date so far that's getting a physical release. It's just phenomenal. Like Jacob Elordi as the creature. What's his name again? I keep wanting to say Pedro Pascal. It's not Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac is Victor Frankenstein. It was shot partly in Edinburgh. Everything is just so
Is Mia Goth in
glorious.
it? Is she in it?
Mia,
She good?
she's probably the worst thing about it.
Ah.
She's just there. Like
Uh-huh.
her little, I don't want to say romance, but her chemistry, her, her kind of love for the monster. I still want to say the monster because he's not. I hate when people say the monster, the creature. Her love for the creature and his love back in the leaf. Him giving her a leaf. Gorgeous. But then Mia Goth on her own, I was just like, she's just there. No harm to her. Like she looks. Thing is, though, she looks great. She suits those gothic Victorian sort of films, whether it be a horror or just a Victorian movie. She suits doing those kind of things. I
Yeah.
just thought she was just there. No harm to her, but she was just there. And she does do and this is not a spoiler, she does do a dual role though. She plays Victor's mum with some, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's prosthetic makeup or whatever, but like she does this. It's unrecognizable. So she plays Victor's mum, and then she ends up being Elizabeth. But there's like a sort of message behind it where like is he seeing his mom, all that kind of stuff. He's got a love for his mother. Obviously, she died when he was quite young. Again, not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. But it's just a beautiful film, mate. Honest to God, apart from the the CGI wolves, but that's what it is.
Nah.
But
Giant Wolves never mix. So
yeah, but the whole modern Prometheus. You've even got Christoph Waltz in it. The film is just it is spine chilling. It is such a great film. Like you have Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, and you have Del Toro's Frankenstein. It's those kind of levels, and even actually, I might actually probably say I probably appreciate Frankenstein more than Nosferatu. But it's one of those kind of things where you look at Nosferatu walked so that Del Toro's Frankenstein could fucking fly, even though he's been working on this years before. But like you said at the start, though, it's been such a great year for horror, whether it be gothic horror or slasher or supernatural. It's been a great year for horror, and I think Nosferatu definitely was a great start to the year for horror, and Frankenstein was definitely the perfection end for this year when it comes to horror, whether it be gothic horror or just horror as a whole. But yeah, like because obviously Andrew Garfield was originally going to be playing the creature, and he dropped out due to, I don't know if it was due to scheduling or whatnot, which I would have loved to have seen Garfield doing that, because Garfield's obviously had a wee bit of a resurgence as well in his career. But Jacob Elordi, I was not on board with this guy. I'm not like I look at him like Timothy Chalamet. I don't quite get the hype for these guys. But yeah, Elordi, like he was incredible. And the fact that the creature in this got to speak more, and he feels through every body part that's been put onto him. He feels memories. What a fucking powerhouse of a film.
The fact that Netflix makes it easy and accessible, so it's probably one over the festive break that I will watch.
It is good. It's a good gothic-y kind of festive feel, because there's a lot of kind of snow, and that you do get kind of a festive
definitely.
feeling.
No,
but it's incredible.
I'll look out for it. No, it'll be good to see. And as I say, I enjoy the original. I've read the original. I read that in Jekyll and Hyde over a summer.
Nice.
How very hipstery.
Well, my love for Frankenstein goes back to my English teacher, Mrs. Merrick, who sadly is no longer with us. She introduced us to Frankenstein in third year, I think it was, and we, for every class for a few weeks, we read chapters of the book, and we got to see like parts of the film when they used to wheel in the TV and the VHS on the big trolley. and we watched obviously the Boris Karloff Frankenstein. We then watched the Bride of Frankenstein. Two fucking superb films. They're not obviously accurate when it comes to the book. There's no Frankenstein that's like 100% accurate. But when it comes to the original Boris Karloff Frankensteins, they were just creature features. They were just made for universal horror, right? All that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a few obviously nods to the book and stuff like that, but they're not like they were just horror films for Universal Studios. And then we got through to obviously the Kenneth Branagh Frankenstein, and I was blown away. Like I remember being there, like I was like 12 years old, and being like, "That what is this? What is this cinematic creature? What is this?" I was blown away by it. Love Frankenstein, absolutely adore it. But yeah, I'm done now talking about Frankenstein.
Well, obviously, like that was kind of your last shout before we went on to the final one, which kind of lines up with our list. So we've kind of skirted around it a wee bit, but I would say it's a film that I enjoyed the most this year, and it was James Gunn's Superman.
I was waiting for you actually just do a pure left curve there and be like and say and say something else.
Roofman.
Yes, Roofman. I want to see that. That's supposed to be really good actually.
I'm sure it is, but
I've heard it's great.
Superman. So
Superman. I'll let you take. You can take the
just
talk now.
No, listen. I think it's one of those ones. It had a thankless job to reboot a franchise that was in need of rebooting. I'll be totally honest. I was a fan. I really like Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, and even Gal Gadot. We spoke about it briefly earlier, but
Ben Affleck as Batman was just like how extraordinary was that?
Yeah.
Like I know, like he got shot on. I really feel sorry for that guy. He get really badly beaten with that role.
No, listen, absolutely, and I think it was needed. So we almost had like we had the Flash in that a few years ago, and then it was just a clean break, and we're like, right, this is where we are. Well, I say a clean break. It has taken things that worked. So like basically from the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker to this, and there's a lot of there is a lot of that, and I think they've got that balance right where it's for kids, or kids could watch it. There's plenty of adult stuff in it, and the fact I've saw Peacemaker now that's set in the same world, that has the same tone almost. Great series. But it also it can turn it up to a 15, 16, the age rating, so you can have that, so you can play about with it.
In Peacemaker, like Lex Luthor says fuck, and you're just like, whoa, that's different. And you're just like, all right, cheeky.
So that's it, and it goes for there, but certainly it's just great. The small character things, I think David Cornsweet is a revelation, because he's got actually so much to do. He's got so many lines as Superman, and you understand the character. I think people expect, or have been kind of conditioned to think Superman's stoic. Superman's a geek. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
he's punk rock. He's punk rock. I mean,
exactly, man. And maybe that is what punk rock is, being nice. But certainly, even funnily enough, just after talking about Kill Bill, there's a whole monologue where it's like Superman's the only character whose secret identity is who he has to pretend to be. And I know obviously folk are like, oh, Batman's actually the character, and Bruce Wayne's the mask, but Superman is like, he wakes up as Kal-El and has to pretend to be Clark Kent, has to be like bumbling and all that, and you get that here
because it's obviously speech with Lex, like it was just,
of course,
it was something we haven't really seen before from a Superman on the big screen anyway. But Tyler is it Hoechlin, the Superman and Lois TV show, which I will die on a cliff defending that show. That was the best Superman we've had in between the sort of kind of like the Henry Cavill years, which no harm to Henry Cavill, he was brilliant, but just there was a lot of kind of mistakes here and there, but that was the best thing. It was kind of keeping us going Superman wise. But yeah, David Cornsweet, like the way he just was like, that's just it though. I'm as human as everyone. I wake up every day, I breathe, I do that, I shit, I eat. Like he is as human as what. He's not just this alien. But like you said though as well though, he is, his mask is Clark Kent. His mask is Superman. It's not Clark Kent to Superman. It's not. It's actually Kal-El to Clark Kent to Superman. Like it's just, I loved David Cornsweet's Superman. I thought it was just breathtaking. And yes, it's got so much James Gunny things, but just sit back and just enjoy, guys. Like, I get the hate, I understand that, but I loved it. You loved it, mate. But I hate when people say you shouldn't love that though. Why not?
Well,
It was
that's exactly what I said
happy.
earlier. That's why we're not doing a list. It's subjective, and as I
Yeah,
say, I could.
exactly. That's
The,
pointless.
the good thing is we could have a chat about it if you want. You know,
Yeah,
we can discuss why I like it and why you don't. But I mean, the good thing is and within 2 years we're going to have a sequel. So
I
like, basically a year and
know.
a half from
Like
now. And we mentioned earlier, Supergirl got a tease trailer about a week
Supergirl.
ago.
Oh, just fucking. I mean, to be fair though, that probably is
That's more
way more.
Guardians.
Yeah, and it's not even directed by James Gunn. It's directed by Craig. Is it Craig?
Craig Gillespie.
Just Gillespie. But that's probably the most Guardians you'll get with Superman. Because obviously it's a more intergalactic story. But yeah, Millie Alcock, when she showed up, I mean, it's not a spoiler now, fucking everyone knows. But when she showed up unexpectedly, sorry, at the end of Superman, I literally screamed out loud, "No way, that's Supergirl!"
I can
And she
see you.
walks in. Oh my
I could see you in the
god! Like,
cinema there, and it's is it
oh my
what's the guy
god!
called? It's not Seth Green. Who's the guy that super bad in that? What's he called again?
Uh,
Man,
Seth Rogen?
no, it's not Seth
No.
Rogen. The kind of boy with the curly hair. I can't remember his name. He always
Oh,
loses
Jonah
weight.
Hill.
Jonah Hill. I was going to say
Jonah
Seth.
Hill.
I could just see
Well,
him. I think
he's not called Seth in Superbad, yeah,
is
isn't he?
is that where I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
confused? But Jonah Hill, I could just see you there. You know, Supergirl appears and you're doing that thing. You know, I think it's forget him to the Greek. It's like, so
Yeah, I was. Oh mate, I was literally like, because obviously, I think she'd just been cast,
yeah,
or it was announced
it was a quick
anyway.
turnaround. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was announced that she was just being cast, and it was like, oh yeah, and then I think a lot, everyone was asking, like junkies were press junkies were like, so is Supergirl going to shoot? And James Gunn's like, no, blah blah blah. Sneaky fucker got her in there, and it was when she comes in, she's like, why did you move the why did you move the door? And you just like, she's like, where's my dog? And she's pissed because she's, they talk about the whole, like, because she's from a, part of Krypton with the red planet or kind of stuff. So she comes in, she's half cut, and Crypto comes flying out of nowhere. That dog was what a scene stealer, by the way, that dog. And he goes flying, and it's when she leaves with Krypton, and he's just like, thanks for watching my dog, bitch. I'm just like, yeah, that's the Supergirl we need for this generation, though. Like, we don't need a good girl. She needs to be a badass, just teen. I think in the trailer they do say like she's 23, so she's not as young, but
Yeah, well, in the book
yeah,
she's 21.
she's 21. Yeah,
Aye, so
but
listen,
it's just
the book's amazing. So if I think in this is like a
women of
proper,
tomorrow, women of steel,
yeah,
women of tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah,
Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So
yeah,
amazing, and can't wait. And I love everything set up. And we had a quick look at Lanterns, which is
yeah.
out. So we had a quick look
Ooh,
at
an
that.
aged Guy Gardner, not Guy Gardner. We're talking about an aged Hal
No, no.
Jordan.
Or Hal Jordan. I thought you were going to say John Stewart. Yeah,
No, John
no,
Stewart, isn't it? But it's Hal
aye, aye.
Jordan.
It's no amazing. Really looking
I
forward
sort
to it.
of True Detective in space, isn't it? It's
It's
supposed to be like
Damon Lindelof. So I'm actually just one more episode. I'll watch that tonight after the show. I've got one more episode of the leftovers to watch.
okay.
Damon Lindelof done Lost is quite kind of
He
like
done Watchmen, the Watchmen series, isn't
Watchmen
he?
as well. Yeah.
That was a
So
good. Did you ever see that series? By
yeah,
the way,
no, I watched that. Yeah, it was great.
so good. But yeah, I think it's described as like True Detective in space. It's like kind of buddy cop kind
I'll
of
take
thing.
it.
Obviously, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it like 100%. As long as it's not Ryan. No, to be fair, I actually enjoyed the Ryan Reynolds film.
I don't mind it.
I thought he was perfectly cast. I thought he was
Aye.
perfectly cast.
No, he is.
But yeah, the DC is looking bright. Apart from obviously we know about the whole like Netflix buying Warner Brothers. What's it going to do with James Gunn? But I think they're all kind of safe. According to insiders, they're safe.
As long as money keeps coming in, they'll be safe.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the kind of main thing.
But Superman 2025 was just glorious. The music, everything about it, it was just glorious. It's just Superman. Like it made me feel so fucking happy inside. Like honest to God, probably the most happiest experiences I've had in the cinema. Like you said about the Jonah Hill, the gif of I was literally me throughout the whole film. I was just so happy. I was just
it was giddy.
finally. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the darkness of the DCEU, the Snyderverse. I didn't mind it at all. Like I thought Henry Cavill was a superb Superman, but I think, and yeah, I hate the fact that he kind of got shot on and kind of like he was supposed to come back. Then obviously the hype built up at the end of Black Adam, which wasn't a great film, but it was a good fucking cameo at the end there. I think the hype get built up, and then obviously the next day it's like, well, actually no, Henry Cavill's getting sacked. I get, because it was annoying that James Gunn done that, but I was like, but you kind of do want a fresh start. I get it. You're going to obviously want to cast your Superman and understand that. But there's obviously the fanboys out there who are just like, no, if it's not Henry Cavill and it's not the Snyderverse, and fuck you. And it's like, I get it. But guys, come on, give it a go. Like it's a great film.
No, absolutely.
Great film. It's so, like you said, makes you feel giddy inside. You just feel so happy. I've watched it 5 times now.
Oh wow.
And honest to God, I'm still seeing new things. I'm just like, oh, that was smart. I'm still watching little bits and being like, that was that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Oh, okay. I'm still finding things. I'm just like, it makes me love it even more. I would give it 10 stars. If I could give it 10 stars, I'd give it 10. I'd give it 100 stars.
No, like, it's great, and it's set up a really interesting world that I'm looking forward to spending a bit more time in. Unfortunately, I'd had planned and if we could look at TV, but I think we'd kind of we'd looked over the list, and to be fair, we hadn't really watched a great deal. You're watching Welcome to Derry now.
I'm currently watching that. I'm halfway through that. If we're going to talk about anything, any TV show wise, right, I need to talk about one show, right?
Yeah,
one show. Have you watched The Studio?
Oh, mate, right, aye.
Seth Rogen.
yeah, amazing.
That's what I'm saying. No, remember I said I think if anything, my number one, you've probably watched this. So I'm sure
I watched that. Yeah.
The Studio was just electrifying. Like that's how you make a
behind the scenes,
like social commentary, meta, like studio show. Like, and it's funny because when you watch it, every episode, you're just like, you're trying to work out what studio could that be based on. You know what I mean? You're just like, is it Lionsgate? I don't know.
You're watching it and you're just thinking to yourself, this can't be real. And you're like, somebody must have done this.
It probably is real though.
What was it? What was it called? Have you watched it all? Yeah.
Yeah, I love The Studio.
So what was the buffet called? It was a Hollywood buffet or something, but they're meaning drugs.
It was meaning drugs. What was the studio called? Like, what was the actual studio in it called?
Oh, it was it was Centrum or something. It was I can't remember. But it was because it came out.
Century Demar. I can't remember.
It was a long time ago. Because
it was like March,
April
something like that. But honest to God, like it was just what a fucking show. And the fact we're getting a second series, I'm just like, oh yes, like the cameos from all, like Martin
Continental. That's what it was.
The Continental. Martin Scorsese. Oh my God, Kool-Aid Man. I'm just like, I'd watch that. I would watch the shit out of that movie.
Between that and the studio, the actual like Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, they're doing the reboot of the Muppets as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, because I think it's like Seth Rogen released a wee teaser the other day. They're saying like he's worked like 10 years on this thing to get this up and running. I'm like, he's like something like that. Something like he said something about like a decade or nearly a decade. I'm just like, fair enough. Because the only other Muppets reboot we got was the two. The Jason. Oh, what's his name again? How I Met Your Mother.
Oh my God, the dogs are going down.
Yeah, what was it called again? Jason something. How I Met Your Mother guy, Jason.
I was going to say Sudeikis, but it's no. I know who you mean.
No, him anyway. Like I thought that the first one anyway was actually brilliant. I'm not bloody. I was like, I think it was in my 20s when I went to see it, and I thought it was absolutely blew me away. Great film. I never saw the second one, but I saw the first one.
Was it Undercover or something like that?
The second one was called Most Wanted. It was Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen it, but I've heard it was actually pretty brilliant. But the first one one was just a brilliant film. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Muppet Show. It'll be interesting though, because the fact that it's Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg that's producing it and writing, I'm just like, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Like, are they going to make it, family friendly? They're going to have a little bit of maybe kind of.
I think it'll probably have an age to it. It's Disney, so it has to kind of have a certain family in the state. And it was a Jason Segel. I had to check though.
Jason Segel. But hopefully they'll have some sort of, some kind of cheeky kind of wink innuendo jokes for the adults, just to be like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
the original Muppets kind of had that as well. Like kind of maybe
Oh, the original Muppets had mental innuendos and adult stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it'll be good. But no, they're just on a roll now. So the sooner the studio comes out, the better it is.
Oh,
Have you
wait.
just obviously we're at the kind of end of the year? Is there anything coming up? Have you got anything planned for 2026 with the channel? That Effing Guy, any other kind of videos coming out?
Well, actually, yes, this is a little bit of an exclusive. So I'm branching out. And so I used to do sort of foodie videos at one point here and there. And
did you know you used to do food challenges? Is that am I right?
Yeah, I used to do food challenges. I only done like three or something, 2 or 3. I done the Nosh one obviously, which is nearly 10 years ago, which is actually pretty scary.
Did you win?
I did one. Actually. I won. Yeah, one and myself and the team at Nosh. We raised over £400, I think it was, for children's charity. I can't remember. It was about 10 years ago, nearly. It was almost about 10, 8 years ago. But I'm thinking about branching out and doing that Effing Guy eats and doing food videos. I used to love doing food videos, but I'd done them and placed them into my That Effing Guy channel, and I was like, a bit annoying because it's like 1 minute I'm talking about films, next minute I'm stuffing my face. So I was like, it was my wife that said like, you really should be doing food videos because you were good at that. You like doing it, and obviously I love eating. And if I can get some views and some fans out of it, why not? 'Cause I love watching foodie videos, so I'm going to start that up in the new year. And fun enough, we're actually going to go to the Christmas mark up in Glasgow this weekend, and we're hopefully going to film a few things. Hopefully film a few things up there. I done it last year, but I was too kind of like, I don't want to be the fat guy doing videos. But I was like, no, do you know what?
No,
might as well. It makes for good content, and it differentiates from what I'm doing. So I've got that planned. I'm just trying to build on my Instagram, my movie Instagram channel. I'm trying to just build up more my TikTok and my YouTube. I think my YouTube's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm abandoning it, but I'm finding more love and attention.
Short form content, yeah.
On TikTok,
yeah,
I'm finding a lot more on TikTok. So I think when it comes to the food channel, that'll be solely a TikTok. I don't think I'll do a YouTube because I'm just like, I love YouTube, but I think YouTube's good for long videos.
Yeah,
like see if I'm doing like big movie discussions or rankings, fair enough. YouTube. When it comes to like just general movie chat and movie news, that's my TikTok. I like that though. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
no, brilliant, man. That sounds.
You man,
just kicking on with the show. Gonna get like a wee short video done for Christmas time, and then after that, mate, just kind of kick on 2026. I mean, we're nearly a year into this. This will be episode 42, which is wild.
Well done, mate. No, congratulations.
Man, I appreciate it, mate. So
that's all I want to be more consistent. You're very consistent. You're at least every week or even every 2 weeks. I need to be trying to get more consistent. I think as well, though.
That's the key. It's even if you're not like if you just put it out there, it's like it never feels like a chore, which is the main thing. So
no. I love what I do. I love what I do.
Absolutely, my man.
Obviously, you love what you do as well, and it's good that you're growing, mate. And I love the fact that I've kind of been here since the beginning near enough. Like, so I like definitely. The fact that your journey's doing. I like it, mate. I love what you're doing, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on your channel, but I love hearing what you're doing. But I think you do need to expand into doing videos though. We need to see that big face of yours, mate. Honest to God.
No, that my coupon will get there. No, you know what it is, mate. It's like trying to grow things naturally. Like there is no budget, so everything's done kind of on the fly. Like, oh, you know what? If I can see a camera that I'm happy with at a good price, that is going to be able to do a lot of things. Like I've got like, the webcam I've got the news ideal. It does everything I need. It's a Logi or whatever. But there's a couple of Sony cameras I was looking at. Eventually down the road, perhaps.
Nice.
And we'll expand out and start doing kind of on.
I know it's weird that because you don't know like how should you be filming? What should you be using for your camera? I use the camera on my MacBook or my phone.
I was going to say the phone's ideal, but I would need a gimbal, and I'm like, well, I can get a gimbal and a camera, because like a camera in your phone's great, but when you actually have something that's bespoke, like this is a camera, the difference is night and day. Even though it's like, I've got 2 million megapixels, like 200 million. 100%. A camera with 20 that is bespoke to what it's doing is ideal. But no, that's something for maybe 2026 to kind of look at. But it's been a good chat. By my kind of record here, we're kind of getting up there in the hours there, which is quite good. It's been a fast.
Just quickly, which have you got like a number one film you're looking forward to in 2026?
Odyssey, I think. Odyssey.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
choice, my friend. Good choice. I've got to be the sucker here, right? The comic book movie fatigue is not hit me yet, so I'm like Avengers Doomsday, baby, all the
Aye,
fucking
aye.
way.
Listen, you could pick loads. I could have said Supergirl, but no, Odyssey right now, just because Chris Nolan never misses, man. So that'll
He
be it.
never does. He never does. But anyway, yes. What a
No,
way
but
to go out with 2025.
I know it's been a year, man. It's been a year. So
It's been a
if
year.
you want to get in touch with the
Thank
show, you
fuck
can
it's
always.
nearly over.
I know,
Honest
I
to
know.
God, man, what a year.
No,
Anyway, sorry.
it's been good, man. No, don't be silly, man. No, but if you do want to get in touch with the show, you can do that at contact@thewhiskeysourhour.com, at the Whiskey Sour Hour on Facebook and Instagram, and obviously give us a like or follow on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you get your Spotify podcast goodness from. On that note, I've been Thomas Waddle. I've been joined by the magnificent Jordan, that effing guy McCabe.
Hello there. Sorry, hello there. Listen, hello there. Goodbye. That's right, yes.
No, I appreciate it, man. This has been the Whiskey Sour Hour. Cheers.
Bye, guys.